Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ramlat Tamim, your host of Reviving the Nubian Language. And today we have another session with another co-host who will introduce himself inshallah very soon. But today's topic is Nubian Youth Camp, the camp that took place approximately 2 weeks ago. It was for our Nubian youths, and our co-host is going to tell us everything about the camp, how it was, from the planning to the execution. And inshallah, I hope all of you will learn something from that, from our session today, inshallah. So, Khalil.
I'm grateful for this opportunity. My name is Khalil Abdullahi, and I'm the former chairperson of the Nubian University Students Organization. So, in reference to the above, this was a project conducted under NUSO, and NUSO is a community-based organization that was formally registered in 2014. So, our main aim or the objectives of our organization are to basically champion education, specifically for the Nubian community in Kibra and generally for the whole community of Kibera, because our programs are not exclusive only to the Nubian students, but also the other students of the community. So the Nubian University Students Organization does mentorship programs for the students. We also do outreaches to schools to do mentorship. We used to do pro bono tuition programs to facilitate and to assist students in their studies, and many of the programs associated with students. And together with HIBA, we also do an awarding ceremony for all students. So basically, our job is to empower the community in matters education, and that was to improve the transition of students from different levels to upper levels, from lower levels of education to upper levels. Those who have finished primary to actually go to secondary school, those who have finished secondary to go to the upper level of education, which is university, possibly pursue their degrees, masters, and PhDs, because a learned community is a transformed community. So, in short, that is what the Nubian University Students Organization does. So, how did this idea come about? So, we were thinking in terms of our culture and our tribe as the Nubian community. There are so many things that are actually disturbing us as a community. We're facing several crises, and the biggest crisis right now is us losing our culture. Currently in Janubi, atarutan tena go for nusu. Currently in Janubi, ata kantaina kalamatina ta siasa na fiwara, fi garaya na fiwara, kantaina fi kalamata dini kaman na fiwara. Ukaman kalamta daula, ukamanta citizenship na kaman fiwara. We're not holding an equal role as other citizens of Kenya. And it is our right as people who have settled in Kenya for more than 100 years. It is our right to be treated as equal as the other citizens in the country. So Yanaina, so we saw that we had several mishaps or challenges we faced as a community, and at that time, students had closed school for approximately 2 months. So something had to be done to actually utilize that opportunity to help them and to offer mentorship to them. So tuition program was one of the alternative solutions, but at that time students are so pressed with education, they're a bit tired from the busy education or the busy schedule in the schools. So we saw if we could do something that would actually not only empower them in terms of education, but also in terms of their culture. Yanaina Kenaso Camp Day, so that in one week, we cover 4 thematical areas that affected most of this youth in the community. First of all, we targeted youth from age range of 15 years to 22 years. And we wanted to empower them on 4 major aspects. The first one was on the issue of culture, of course. Kalam milan to mon mar fu tanubi. Tinin milan to mon mar fu akil nubi ya tu tagira kap kefen akil nubi ya ata bana mar fu rubtu gurbaba anas mar fu dustur tanubi salam tanubi majana jade. So those are some of the things we wanted to capture in the culture aspect, and also the main objective in that was to inspire the love of culture and tradition to those young students. And so that is why we opted number one for culture. Number two, of course, and which is the first option, it is the first actually, it is the issue of religion. Because currently, Nendis wrote moral decay في مجتمعنا. We have a moral decay in our society generally, specifically for us, the Nubian community, and generally the whole community in Kibra. So to tackle moral decay, we have to inspire their spirituality and to actually educate them on Islam. So that is something to actually raise their iman. So that was our second thematical area. Our third thematical area we wanted to tackle was on the issue of citizenship. Kalamiala Milan can Mongi Kalas Form 4, and when they finish their Form 4, they are having challenges. They don't even know the procedural or the process to undertake when you want to acquire your ID. So we wanted to empower them by teaching them on the different processes of acquiring their IDs and other relevant documentations, so that in future they could be available for opportunities of employment in the country. And for them to get such opportunities, you have to be identified as a citizen of this country. Even perhaps even getting some scholarship opportunities, you have to be identified as a citizen of this country. So the issue of citizenship is very important for your community. So there was need to educate the youth on the different processes that they need to undertake to acquire all of this documentation. So that was the third thematical area. And the fourth thematical area was the aspect of the aspect of the Nubian history. Kalamiala, they don't know their origin. Yeah, if you were to ask any youth or any even young man and women outside there, most of them, they don't know where they come from as a Nubian community. They only know they are from somewhere in Sudan or northern Egypt. But now, to get a detailed understanding, because basically someone said that you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you come from. So it is very important for them to know where they come from. So we had to teach them on the origin of the Nubian community, so that they even get the confidence to talk about who they are positively and confidently in any platform that they might be in the future. So that camp had four main objectives, and those are the ones I mentioned above. Number one was the aspect of course, the Nubian culture, Islamic, the religion. The third aspect was civic education. Yeah, and the fourth aspect now was on Nubian history and origin. And also we did a bit of physical building, some karate lessons. It was also good to actually know how to defend yourself. So those are the four thematical areas we wanted to cover during that camp. Yes, Ramlat. In terms of the camp, those are our main objectives.
So you've mentioned four aspects that took place during the Nubian youth camp. If you could please explain under culture, what did you do to make sure by the time they're leaving the camp, they understand everything about their culture, how they're supposed to dress, cook, how they're supposed to talk, and culture, if you could expound that for us.
Thank you very much. Culture, of course, all the four thematical areas, we had to devise a strategy or a program in which it could cover all the aspects and we could measure our success. So when we were starting the program, we actually formed several partnerships before the D-Day. We decided to form a partnership with the Kenya Nubian Council of Elders, together with the Nubian Rights Forum, so that we educate the community on those various aspects. And for us to educate them on all those aspects, we needed people who had more knowledge than us, so that we bring them on board so that they could facilitate such programs. So most of our facilitators were were given to us by the Kenya Nubian Council of Elders, KNUSE, and we are grateful for that. And another facilitator from the Nubian Rights Forum, who would come and actually do facilitation on the civic education and the ID acquisition processes, ID, passport, all the other relevant documentations. So for us to actually measure what we could accomplish and to actually help the students understand their culture, when we started the camp, we had the idea of dividing them into several groups, and each of those groups could present a project when we finalized the whole program. Yeah, so when they were educated in class, they could take notes, and then we put them in several groups. So as to tackle the 4 thematical areas which developed into which gave birth to a fifth one. It became now 5 thematical areas, because we captured something that was very important and it's significant for our community, and the issue of leadership. Yeah, we currently have a leadership crisis, and not only leadership, we need to also look at the significance of followership, because in our community we find all the instances, and sometimes you have a good leader but very bad followership. Sometimes you have good leadership, bad leadership, but very good followership. So it is good. We needed to educate them on who is the good leader and who is the good follower. Yeah, so we needed to inculcate good leadership skills in them and also the community in turn. Yeah, so we put them into five groups, which would do 5 projects when finalized the program. We had a group presenting on culture. So actually they decided to do an ideal Nubian wedding. So we actually had a wedding Hanika. On the final day, we get gurusa, things like that. We did tari. We experienced the whole procession from Yaibe, all the stuff, all the goodies. Yeah, so we did the first project on culture. Another was on the Nubian history. A group was charged with the responsibility of actually doing good research and presenting on the Nubian history. And then another group was charged with the responsibility of now bringing up the ID and the civic education issue, so that we could educate our community on the various aspects that we have learned, on what is happening in the community and what can be done to actually improve the situation. Because the whole camp was actually solution-centered on paving the way forward and inspiring a good future for the community. And then now the 4th group would do another one now on the, of course, origin I mentioned, culture I mentioned, on religion. Another one was given opportunity to do religion. So on the D-Day, which was on Friday, someone was given opportunity to actually give a khutbah in Rutan Nubi. So they actually did a flawless khutbah in Rutan Nubi. And other students were given an opportunity to practice the oratory in Rutan Nubi. So I had very good speakers like Sebi, if he's listening. He spoke very fluently on Rutan Nubi. And then we had a 5th team that presented on leadership and followership. Yeah. So we learned a lot from these kids, and through that we felt the impact of what we could do as a community to actually inspire change. Yeah.
Of religion, what were the main things that you were aiming at?
On the aspect of religion was spiritual empowerment, because most of the Nubian community, or at least we think all of the Nubian community, especially in Kibra, are from the Muslim community.
Yeah.
So for us to actually tackle the issue of moral decay, we have to empower them spiritually. Because we believe in Islam, when someone commits sin, it's not because they are bad people, but it's because their iman has lowered. So how can we raise someone's belief, someone's iman, so that they become better Muslims? So in such, we had to inculcate the culture of Islam in them, not by telling them, not by lecturing them, but by showing them. So we had a program for prayers, we had a program for small lectures presented by some of the students and also us as the facilitators. We could see changes, and we could not force them, because first and second day we find some people who would not wake up for prayers. They will not wake up for Fajr prayer, they will not wake up for Tahajjud prayer. But then as the time went on, we could see them that they started to improve. And on the final day, we are very happy to report that most of the students, they have already grown accustomed to praying 5 times a day, which is a good plus on our side. Secondly, Also, we took that opportunity to actually demystify some of the misconceptions they have about Islam. And that is also on our way to actually empower them. The third aspect in terms of religion was to inform them and to tell them about their creator. Because you cannot tell someone to fear God and he doesn't know who God is.
Yeah.
So you have to explain to them who God is before you tell them this is haram and this is halal. So we had to tell them about Tawheed, that who is Allah, who is your creator, who created you and has given you all the blessings, everything that you have right now. Are you grateful to your creator? So those are some of the things we brought in terms of actually inspiring them spiritually, and we could see the difference. Alhamdulillah, even after the program, when doing our post analysis, we got very positive feedback from parents and community members who are following closely what we're doing. At first, the wazazi Milan Kangidan Nagora Labdoluka kila yote, but that was not the case. We are not going to play Labdoluka every day.
Yeah.
We were going there to learn. So it's actually like a mini college to teach them about their culture and about their religion.
Yes.
And it was very successful. We exceeded our own expectations. In terms of inspiring them to be better Muslims, it was a check and a plus. In terms of empowering them, in terms of their culture, them to get inspired to be Nubians, to be proud Nubians, that was a plus on us. In terms of inspiring them to be good leaders and good followers, that was a check on our side.
Yeah.
So we checked all the boxes, and if we could grade ourselves, we'd give ourselves an A.
You deserve the A. Yeah.
Yes.
Since it was a Nubian youth camp, and you wanted to teach these kids everything about their culture, did you touch on the aspect of language?
Of course, of focus. When we're covering the issue of culture, of course, language comes number one. If you cannot speak a language, how can you say that you're part of that community? And you could belong in a community just because you speak their language. And when you speak someone's language, you speak to their hearts. So the issue of language was tackled. We had several sessions on language in which they were taught on various on the consonants. They were taught on language itself, several words in Rutan Nubi, body parts of a human being in Rutan Nubi, salam in Rutan Nubi. So they learned a lot in Rutan Nubi, and we made them to do their presentations in Rutan Nubi. So language was a major focus on our side, and we could see the transformation as the days went by, that these kids were loving the language. They started to speak the language. Those who had challenges and trouble to speak the language were now loving to speak that. Some of them were now and actually I was very impressed yesterday when I heard that they formed their own WhatsApp group. And through that group, they're actually talking about language. They're doing several discussions about Rutan Nubi. They're not speaking English nor Kiswahili, they're doing it in Rutan Nubi. So those are some of the things that we've achieved through this camp. And inshallah, we hope to continue with the same, because haba na haba hujaza kibaba.
And you're listening to our session right now and you'd like to ask any questions at all, or you have any addition to this topic, you can call us live on studio on 0770 331194, or you can SMS 0787535307. That will show us that you're really enjoying our session and you're interested and the session is lively. So reach out to us via SMS, or you can just call live on studio and we'll inshallah answer your question. So the number is 0770 331194, SMS 0787535307, and we'll be back after this short break. We are back again after the short break, and alhamdulillah, I can see that you guys are really enjoying our session. So we have a question for you, Khalil. This is from Ahmad Min Salama. So the question is, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Asmatai Ahmad min Salama, kalamta camp de mardadi zaid. Anendi swalta Khalil, sununeza so jawazazi, ina jawazazi agder so, kaya latala min camp, kaya la altala min camp, keman mawadur talim al umon logofi wiki waide.
شكرا غير أحمد.
Yeah.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Sasa de swali adid swali kwes swali adid zaidi hata also kan kumbuka kama kile kalam tayala kan fika sida tena tanubi wai na kan gimba na wazee kan jani ina
Aiwa.
makatu jana Ismail mjakulu magumba nomo dawia
Wedini kati mwai kati mijesondu. Aiwa.
Sasa de ala de wakangi enjoy zaidi de menda hargani na wazazi bara kaman na jamii kulu fi nenis responsibility au nenis jukumu fogo kenara yake sunu yake rutan tena jawazazi fi beto omon kalam min root causes ama min kalama abgiso rutan tena giwodur kalam wazazi fi be magonus mayala rutan nubi de kaman ya gijiba jade ya culture tena kaman medis gua sade kutukum ya sharia kia naskulu onus rutan nubi asede kaman malima abgamu hutub ama khutba fi masajid tena common so bidi common onus rutan nubi kalam jamii wadin barana mongi so marutan nubi le kinama so khutba tena marutan nubi de kaman wajibta tamalima tena ukaman malimata madrasa common abidu onus mayala rutan nubi so kila zole this platform to kanotumia kupromote rutan nubi tena de nabifika bakan upwards
Nendi swali ta timin ini. It says Assalamu alaikum. Swali la kwanza, kampi inaweza fanyika tena. La pili, watu wazima mnaweza tufanyia programu yetu ya camp ili tupate kujua mila zetu zaidi. So first question, is the camp happening again? Utatinin takumeza kunma program jade but tanas kobirin.
Asede shukran Madam Ramlet. Asede kalam de kuis. Dema de ulan lakin ma mwisho. Camp de naina we exceeded our own expectations. Imaanisha camp de can be successful. Yala demo na karaja. Umona zwata taan. Asede de ama bikun mwisho. Nabi so jitihada kebir. Kenaso wata kanfisana kekun marawai. Kansaid kekun martinin. Apart from camp de nazu kenaso harakatu wadin Milan. Abiso rutan tena ke keso sunu ke grow ama ke kun sawa sade asidi kaman ja show jade pamoja FM kan wazazi gi support hata mungu tu yalato mon gas na program jade am barnami jade kaman bisaidia fi rutan nubi hata tatinin yanade kaman kena kutu mon fi forum kan fi forum nagi na dumon tayomo haya uyom tinin takuri fresh rutan nubi to mon mongali maja ela kan yana gija limu mon bakan wayo kam fi aja mongija mo abisaidia rutan tena ke kun sawa asede de kama jukum tena nabi so bidi ke kam de kun martan lakini na wazazi as common kun supporting ketakum mabla supporting position takum ketakum au ni ala de fi kalamta rutan nubi fi bena ukamanina kanana dumon when no mon nafas de when no mon nafas komonja support umon liba kumnomon ata kan fair tu komonja when no mon kila jambo ni taji komonja gara rutan to umon de abikun sika abnabi aun yala tena common arfu rutan nubi asa de fi swal to tatinin anas kubar mombi so kifen fi anas kubar kalam jadetu aulan taredio de fi kalam narfu kama bikun kam bikun go zaid kalam anas kulu mene dis wajukum tama gekelen na mzazi atital wiki wai kitajeri kiraro sabati kwa tawani obisib jua na munu kantara obisib ragi wa munu kanta mari obisib mara toma munu 7 days kulu yala namang de facilitate couples ati komonja family kulu magder kun labda inshallah kan uwezo kun nagisema kila zol keja family to ja picnic zede nage anazonus kalafede lakini fisade wazazi komuso jukum ke komon kan bio bukan komon bio komon agara bukanade komon unus maelaru tanubi ukaman wazazi komon support programs tena jata radio de kaman naweza nadita kumfi forums de nagija unus kalam tanubi kenaja kena onus kena wafik kalama nazo encourage kaman tijulus tena tanubi kulu hata kan family gathering masunu kena onus tanubi de ya bisaidia rutan tena kede so sunu kede gumfok kede kun on the pedestal where it was long ago
There's 2 more questions. Kanwezekana camp day eza kun baada kila muda. I think you've answered that. We also have another one. Same question. Assalamu alaikum. How soon do we expect the next camp? I think you've also answered that. So if we wrap up the show, teza kile mneina wasia alteza wedina community teina ya kutu encourage as a community to embrace such youth camps, and inshallah we pray that there is more to come.
Asante, shukran zaidi. Wasia taina jamii tai anastahili kitai. ربنا بيكلم إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. ربنا ما بيغير وناس لقد يناس كمون غير نفسي تومو. أسدي لازم إتاكتا سولوجوكم ما responsibility تاكو غير نفسي تاكي يا ربنا بيسايدي إتاكتا غير. لكن كان تما سولو فرصة تاكو غير نفسي تاكي تما بيغير. هذا تاولاني جا community. أزو كنا كوتو arrogance wara ama ignorance tena jet kalam satan azol marfu lakini mazu warfu kalamo fekero warfu tarao marfu elo mazu kekele mnoko warfu oda no warfu they anasab they challenge zaidini ya gifa kaman ke wazazi kena kuna nasab gasma hata ya latina kitama kutu mindset dade arrogance dade atiana zul kebira magirasma wede nyekusakaro kekele mnason sade hata wakati geru yalato minde munazo wazazi mgas moment kitas na maoni to hata kantama rudumo at least as more yalata we no reason why you are not taking the suggestion ase deja wazazi aulan kinangu arrogance yake na ambu ignorance kanangu arrogance na biagara kinama ina tab kuja fi class kena unus kalam tarutan tena etama ina heb kuwasma radio lesson tarutan nubi de asika why abisaidia zaida nas kubar kaman komun faham rutan nubi yala anazu aja tatinin anazu encourage na ja community kena inculcate culture ta unusu culture ta kutu kan gongorora anas gen falta fisakol to umon ya kutayo ikele kan zaman wazegi gen wazeta hikma fikila village mongi gen fisakol zede mongo no challenges ta community kana nase this problem makesi masunu mongi ja wazede mongi settle kalamde deja mnabi na mention inde ase de azu hata jeta family takum gigen falta takum bonus kalam takum kanyomide namazu kalam tabirish namazu kalam takul fisinia bakano kila zole zugen bakuli to jala abi ase de azu sande kenarja fisinia teini sinia de edis hikma to
Aiwa
kwanza kanda kumakul fisinia indis baraka tu hata fidide na fi baraka yaki kelemu to amu wahidi yaki fitinin lakini biyakfi ithnain kantakum gakul fisinia ase de kana gen fibiris kena sakul baba mama yala kantakum so zede yata kum bilogo platform taunus kalamata kum ta familia ya nirku bikele yala kena kutu culture wazazi kitasa nirku how was your day ko kele biom to kan kefin ko kele fi school kan kefin asa du wife taki kan kefin na bikele mta kila ana fa bonus zaidi lakini asmo tu pia tagina di quality time yale
aiwa quality time ta family
anas milan ki kom asadi kan tagi mzede ma family tagi asabi ku yom taki kan kefen subata taki kefen tazu sunu asadu magetaki asadu nagitaki sunu so that we inculcate the culture of conversations kalam problem milan gi happen kalam anas milan magonus challenges domon ama kalam ambi haragu mon figelba wala sunu azu kenaonus kalam sade fi aspect of mental health of the affect kan community kulu sade hata ma community na bara bal community kulu ta dunia lakini na janubi na bisoke feni akena au nina min kalamade azu kena unus kalamate na kena kun kalamate ara kan kalam har kefen kena unus kalamade kena si kalam ta unus wara kana so zede andan na bifika bakan aulandan kelem kena ngu arrogance ya kena ngu ignorance tatinin an kelem kena inculcate a conversation environment mayalate ina ya biji kalam ta unity kalam kantakum gonus jahna suwai dega tana banazu kianas kutu frasto umon zaidi ala geta talata kena continue ama kena endelea mako encourage ala maana school kono sultan nobi fijua takum onus kum rutan nobi tafadhali kum Ada tarba kalam taku labasa tanubi. Ada kan Friday zede kena kudu Nubian day. Kila zol kelevis leading tanubi. Andan zede na bifika vakan jajami na shukran zaid kwa smana. Hayo.
So inshallah, shukran Khalid. You really educated us on what happened on the Nubian youth camp, and inshallah, like our listeners have aired their concerns. We expect more camps to come, inshallah. And thank you for the really good initiative that you've done for the community. It shows that as a Nubian community, there's somewhere we are going. We are growing as a community, and that's a really good thing for us. Shukran anas abgas mena filbe. Shukran kum kaman fi kurasume na messages. Degi weri ne ina kumgas mena. So for the first time, at least, then this at least 5 messages from you guys, and angi shukurita kumzaid. So until the next time, I've been your host Ramlat Tamim. Keep it reviving the Nubian language. Shukran.